She's a farm girl, she's a military officer, she's a world champion in precision shooting, and she's an international thought leader on the theme of focus. Christina Bengtsson, please come up on stage. Hey, Christina, and
Hey,
here's the
Sam.
clicker.
Hello. Thank you. I don't need it.
You don't need it.
No, not at
No,
all.
the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Johan, and thank also to you. It's, of course, an honor for me sharing my words and thoughts with you all. In today's society, we are exposed to more impressions than ever before. We lose focus every 11th minute, and it takes up to 25 minutes to get it back. And actually, Swedish workplaces are losing 7 billion hours a year caused by distractions. So today, to live a sustainable life and to achieve success, the ability to focus is absolutely necessary. So why do I have the honor speaking to you about this? Well, of course, there is a story. Some years ago, or actually quite many years ago, I decided to become best in the world at something. I had actually no clue in what, and I was probably too old to run very fast or jump very high, so I chose shooting. It's a quite boring sport, actually, and I spent thousands of hours, 20,000 hours on the shooting range. And even though I did that, I lost over and over again. But then, 7 years later, I stand on the podium as a world champion. And in that very moment, just before the last shot, the target is 50 meters away, and the 10 is only 10.4 millimeters. What determines if I shoot a 9 or a 10? The technique, the physics, the breathing? No. It's all about the thoughts I think, why I think them, and to ignore the distracting thoughts. This is what focus is about. And focus interested me more and more, and I kind of developed a wisdom that I've realized that all humans can benefit from, especially in today's world where countless distractions are competing for our attention. And focus is important because it's connected to several essential abilities that we have. The ability to listen, the ability to learn, the ability to feel empathy, and to stay strong in our decisions on what we want and what we can. It's a vital force that needs to be given more dedication within ourselves, but also in all of society. So, why do we then lose focus? Well, firstly, our brains are almost exactly the same as it was 50,000 years ago, but still yet equipped for a completely different reality than in which we live today. And that means that we react on distractions as if they were life-threatening. A pling in a mobile phone or a sudden change at work takes away our focus on the spot. Now, these are all outer distractions. But then we have also the inner distractions. Those who makes us worry about, for instance, what happens if? What happens if I shoot a 9, the last shot in the final? What happens if I forget what to say? What happens if I don't get accepted, if I don't get seen, if I don't get loved? Or, for instance, we think, what change can I do in this world bursting with global problems? Or we simply think about what didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. So can we then free us from these distracting thoughts? We have this undemanding present. And it's here that we are focused. It's here that we perform and function exactly as good as we actually are. And secondly, the attention industry. The more attention a digital platform entails, the more effective the advertising becomes. And social media is directed towards our impulses and takes away our ability to focus on what we really care about. And you see, I have friends, or let me take an example. I have a friend, and she has been so emotionally involved in so many things at social media the last year. For instance, the first week, she's emotionally involved in immigration. The second week, she's involved in angry with Mr. Donald Trump, for instance. And the third week, she's involved in a new fitness trend. And the fourth week, she's involved, and so on, and so on. And her focus shatters into 1,000 little must-dos and must-haves and must-bes. And I feel like asking her, but hey, what do you want? Who are you? What are you good at? So a challenge also for companies today is to find out what is important and what is not important. So you need to find out your core identity and then dare to stick to that. And third, we want immediate response. And that means that we want to peak perform, because then we get the response. And when we peak perform, we often focus in the short-term perspective. But today, we need the longer-term focus. We need to focus in the long-term direction. So, for a sustainable world, we need a world in focus. And focusing on what lies far into the future and perhaps only give the reward to generations far beyond our own is difficult. But I think you can do that. You can probably do that. Your challenge will rather be to deal with the unfocused people. Because we can already today see the consequences of our lost focus. We can already today see two types of people. Those with the ability to coexist and handle our intense society, and those who are more or less slaves under the same possibilities. And the focus, the attention economy, the attention industry, is again a challenge for you. Because it's precisely that which can affect the unfocused people, so to say, to make the bad choices and to buy that bad food and other crap that doesn't go in line with sustainability and a better world. But I have a wish. I have a wish. The other day, I walked into a big mall with my 5-year-old son. We walked in there, and suddenly he stops, and he looks up, and he says, Mom, look, see how much I don't need. And I think that's brilliant. And I have a wish that we and the coming generation can have the same view and that we can have the same approach towards our information overflow. I want people to ignore what's irrelevant. I want people to take charge of their own focus instead of being controlled. That would be a world in focus. So now, what I want to give you to make you focused right here and right now is simply 4 tips. Now, firstly, sharpen your mind and remark your distractions. And second, reinforce your ability to ignore them. And third, find your inner identity, your inner core. What's important for you? What are you good at? And fourth, decide what not to do. That is how we bring focus back into our lives and how we can start doing what has to be done. So good luck, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Christina, not the least, all our volunteers, where are you? Over there. They're everywhere. Thank you so much, volunteers. You've been amazing, absolutely amazing. And one person I'd like to thank extra is our fantastic producer, Tatiana. Come up on stage, Tatiana, so they can see you. Tatiana is the one who's been carrying this mess on her shoulders in such an amazing way. We couldn't have done it without you, Tatiana. So an extra big hand for Tatiana now. Remember, the herbs need to be gone when the last person leaves the premises. So take a bag, grab a bunch of herbs, go home and cook a fantastic dinner.